welcome everyone to Lincoln, Nebraska. They don't have beaches here, but they got berms. They'll take their blankets because they got a big baseball game today. Nebraska, Arizona State, the Midwest and the West in an elimination game. Winner moves on to the regional final tonight. Capital One. The NCAA baseball regionals are presented by Capital One. We had to finish a game that was suspended last night around midnight because of rain. Owen Pano grabbed the ball, his glove hit the bag, and that resulted in a 6-3 win over Nebraska. And again, a game that was continued this morning. As a result, they move on to their first regional final since 2022, and they will get the winner of the Arizona State-Nebraska game. So they are in the driver's seat. Huskers got their fans behind them, and we welcome you inside our booth. Great to be alongside Kyle Peterson, and I'm Carl Ravitch. You talk about these Huskers, and we'll get to them in a moment, having the home field advantage. The team from the West has arguably the best player in the country. And that, of course, is Landon Hairston. What he did this season was remarkable, put himself in position to be the player of the year, win the Golden Spikes, 28 home runs. The fact is, he hasn't been the guy that's carried this team in this region.
No, it feels like the do factor is high right now for Hairston based on what he's done the entire season. But it's really been New Contreras that has carried them. He's healthy, and that's important because for a lot of his collegiate career, he has not. For Contreras, 2 games here, well, 3 home runs and some defensive gems too. Kid that, for me, and this is what scouts really start to watch, deserves a chance to get into pro ball and really get a chance, because this is a guy that you want into your organization. Jet Buck has kind of done it all. I mean, defensively, threw a dart home. That was a huge play against South Dakota State. Then the next inning goes deep. That extends the Nebraska lead. Well, they do it again. That wasn't it for Buck. Home runs number 10 and 11 on the season for Jet Buck. He has been the power behind this Husker offense. The later you go in this regional, it feels like you need to be more offensive. We may see that today.
Well, Jets found the jet stream here in this ballpark, Haymarket Park, Hawks Field. It'll be a sea of red in a must-win game for Nebraska and Arizona State when we come back. Coaches and the NCAA getting together and acknowledging the best thing we could probably do is come back, finish a game, which they did. That took about a half hour. And now about an hour and a half later, we got Nebraska and Arizona State here at Haymarket Park. You take a look at the Nebraska Cornhuskers batting order. One of the things that they do, I wouldn't necessarily, KP, put it in, they do well. They get hit by a lot of pitches.
Yeah, it's something that definitely plays into the offensive approach for Nebraska. I think the biggest thing for me today for Nebraska is they got to play clean baseball. They did not do that against Ole Miss, and offensively, it's not a team that hits a bunch of home runs, but it's a team that can drive you crazy, isn't afraid to go the other way. They're going to face a right-hander, Colby Guy, who is well-traveled. Started at Jackson State, went to UNC Asheville, now a Sun Devil right here. Back and forth primarily out of the bullpen, and for Guy, it's fastball slider. The slider is his best. If they can get him 3 to 4 innings, they'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, first one to Mac Moyer is down for ball one. Moyer is the son of Jamie Moyer, a terrific hitter on a first pitch against righties, but he didn't get a chance there with a batting average over .571. Overall, just a terrific season as that one lands and it goes 1-1. This weekend he's been in a bit of a funk, 1 for 7 with a walk. And this Guy delivers the 1-1. Swing and a miss. That's a really good off-speed pitch. Chester, South Carolina, you mentioned Jackson State, UNC Asheville, 7-4 in 2024. Big South preseason pitcher of the year in 25. And a great start for him. Shoulder impingement cost him most of 2025. And then he transferred. He was kind of a bit of an afterthought, KP, but then he burst onto the scene. Clutch 5-inning, 2-run effort against Houston, and a 1-2-3 outing against BYU. And as you know, it doesn't matter the time of year. There's always an opportunity to gain the trust of the staff. Yeah,
that Houston outing's one that put him in this spot to make their start in their 3rd game of this regional.
Jeter Worthley, who had an incredible opportunity to catch his brother, Jalen Worthley, in the finish of the suspended game from last night. And all Jalen did was strike out 3 in the 1 inning he had a pitch. Popped up, short right field. Right fielder coming hard, and it's a nice play by Drew Toigo. That was up there for a while. It felt like it was going to be the second baseman, New Contreras' ball, but Toigo comes in to make the play, and there are 2 down on only 6 pitches.
We talked during game 1. Skies are a little bit different today, and it'll be interesting if these outfielders are picking it up right away. I don't know if Toigo did see it right away or just a late break, but enough closing speed to make the catch. 2 quick outs for Colby Guy.
And the first one at Dylan Carey. He is the senior 4-year shortstop on this team. And Mr. Man in the middle of everything. Looked at one inside. Out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Arizona State, 3 in the left side of the infield. And there's a breaking ball that lands to go 1 ball, 1 strike. Terrific season, final season, .350 batting average. Big swing, and that pitch has been very effective to start this game.
We're not wasting any time out there, Colby Guy.
No.
Just get it and go, man.
He's ready again on the 1-2. That one is down. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To a Nebraska team that prior to today's conclusion had only lost 1 time on this home field. It has been a tremendous advantage. That's called strike 3. And all of a sudden, Colby Guy becomes Colby the Man. He gets Moyer, he gets Carey, and he gets the Sun Devils to the batter's box. little bit of shade. Such a beautiful ballpark laid out in the outfield with trees, which do provide shade. Berms as an opportunity to sit, savor what has been a ridiculously successful season for Nebraska. Meantime, Arizona State comes in with Hairston and Contradas, who KP talked about at the top. They're looking to get a little length out of the guys, I'd say, what, from Matt Polk on down?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, Longo, part-time starter, but has some juice, has the ability to run it out. But 1 through 4 that's where you got to have some damage control against this Arizona State offense. Starts with Hairston, one of the best hitters in the country. If they can get production out of 6, 7, 8, 9, this offense gets really dangerous.
For those that watch this Lincoln Regional, and it came in with 3 ranked teams, arguably the most competitive, because most believed that Arizona State could have been a 2 seed. So the pressure has been on Nebraska, and today it is on Gavin Blackowitz.
Yeah, who was a reliever all year last year, pushed into the starting rotation this year. Pretty good early. May's been a little rough. The ERA is above 7. He's given up some home runs in that month, so I think a quick start important for Blackowitz today.
And here is Hairston, as difficult a guy to get out as there is, struggling a little bit in the region, and that one is smoked to center field. Just off the end of the bat, Moyer is there. And just like that, there's 1 pitch and 1 out, and that's a little take a deep breath for Blackowitz. And here comes new Contradas, who had a grand slam. He's got 3 homers. He had 2 in the first game. And I think, KP, when you talk about this team, most around the program will tell you when this kid is healthy, he's actually the best player on the team.
He's probably the most important, that's for sure.
Kid out of Eva Beach, Hawaii. He is a competitor. He's dealt with some really bad injuries the last couple of years, but healthy again. One ball and 1 strike. There are the numbers: 4 for 12 with 3 homers. Inside on him. Joe Maiden is the man calling balls and strikes. Billy Van Raphorst is down there at first base. Donnie Smith out at second, and Micah Holman, our umpire, at third base. The wind is blowing again out to left, but much, much more quietly than it did yesterday. That ball is lifted deep to left. The best player on the team hits his 4th home run of the region. New Contradas is absolutely on fire. 1-0 Sun Devils. Oh, way to tee him up, KP, talking about all that he has done, and he continues to be on this torrid pace.
About 109 off the bat at a 30-degree launch. You know what that equals?
Homers.
A long way. 427 out to left center field. 4 home runs on the weekend for Contradas, and that one gets the Devils on the board.
You can see why, and they'll tell you, when we play well, he's on the field and doing well. This is Dean Toigo, letter high fastball in there for a strike. No doubt about it, blast to the berm and left. Talked about those injuries that Contradas had to deal with. One was a hand injury. It cost him last year's postseason. Obviously, Arizona State wasn't very successful. There was a bad back injury as well the year before. I guess that may be one of the questions organizations will have about taking the kid who went to the St. Louis school at Honolulu. Can he stay on the field? 1-2 to Toigo. No, it just missed.
Good spot to miss, though, right there. Tried to stick a fastball inside. May have just missed up, may have just missed in, but good spot to go against Toigo. Long levered, and that's where you like to go with the bigger guys.
Next one is outside. Toigo wears 55. He's a 5th-year senior. He transferred to Arizona State for this season. He was the Mountain West Co-Player of the Year at UNLV in 25. From Yorba Linda, California. Blackowitz delivers 3-2, and he got jammed, and the second baseman Stokes is right there to catch it and make the out.
All right, Rav, I will volunteer to be the engineer of the draft Contradas earlier than you think you should train, because what we have seen, not just this weekend, but over the course of the year, this kid is putting on a show.
Yep.
He's gone deep to left. He's gone deep to right. He's made big-time plays at second base. He is clearly the leader of this Arizona State team, and a big reason when they made their run throughout the postseason to this point. I could not be a bigger fan. And you talk to the coaching staff about him, and they rave immediately. Yes, the numbers, but more about the kid.
Blackowitz is obviously not feeling well on the mound. And as a result, the catcher's gone out, trainer's going out. Rob Childress, the pitching coach, has seen everything you possibly can see.
Yeah, I'm sure he's seen this before, too. Sometimes that's all you need, Rav. Just clear the mechanism in a few different ways and jump back up there. I was fortunate enough to do that in the dugout the times that it happened, not necessarily right behind the mound.
Was there a common thread that led to vomiting, throwing up?
Generally Valentino's pizza, and I ate way too much in between games.
In between games,
Yes,
okay.
sometimes it just kind of bites back. But I will tell you, it's well worth it. On every front, now Shockey's back up. Now you're ready to go, man. It's fresh start.
Yeah, he's ready. You got to be careful of the blooper right over his head that lands on that area.
Swish a little water around and give me a new baseball. We're good.
All right, welcome to college baseball. The Lincoln Regional, and Gavin Blackowitz has now set the table to have some type of remarkable outing after that. He'll get Dominic Smaldino. And the first one misses. Hairston flew out to center. New Contradas blasted one, a souvenir to the kid out there in the green jersey who made a great catch, and then Toigo flew out to the second baseman. Arizona State is actually the home team, even though we are on the home field of the Cornhuskers. See our guy out there, KP? Neon green, boom.
Hey, that's why you bring it, 14. Show it off. Twisted ankle celebrating it, but that's well done.
And I ain't sharing, I'm leaving.
Yes, and I'm going to get pizza.
Good for the day.
I win.
The crowd in full support of Gavin Blackowitz on the mound.
Good idea. The hand started, but Smaldino just able to hold up.
Smaldino, a .333 average, 16 long balls on the year. They've got one this inning. The 2-2 called, strike three. And Gavin Blackowitz, a little lighter than the inning started, walks off after punching out Dominic Smaldino.
Oh, new. Have yourself a weekend new. Fourth home run of the weekend. 4:16 to left. The solo shot the first gets the Devils on the board.
in their opener against Tennessee. Much
on both the Women's College World Series and this regional. Jordy Fromm, exits center stage.
Yes.
And an elimination game from the longtime veteran who transferred in this year gives them a 1-0 lead over Texas.
A couple of national titles at Oklahoma, came back home for the last 2 years.
And that has to feel good after struggling in their loss. They bounce back to get a 1-0 lead. We'll keep you posted on that. It is on ABC right now. Colby Guy went 1-2-3 in the first. He gets Case Sanderson, the first baseman, to lead off the top of the second inning. Well, I'd throw that every time, KP. They haven't been able to square that up, even hit it.
It looks like he's got a pretty good feel for the slider early, and he's thrown it to both righties and lefties, and the outcome has been the same.
Over his glove, fielded barehanded. Oh, how good is new? Well, somebody used to say, KP, we knew, but we didn't know.
Oh, new. You didn't know it was going to make this play either, because they start to shift. So Moutsaritas is on that side of second. He's coming directly at it. This is silky, man. Top 10 nominee, put top 1 nominee. Just take the 0 off right now. Bare hand beauty.
That ball was
right there
moving,
for Contreras.
too.
Yeah, it was, and he threw him out by a step and a half.
I mean, literally, the stage, this has been his. He comes out here. He is the leading man amongst great players. New Contreras, 4 home runs and some outstanding defensive plays. On the other side, this has been the star. It's Jet Buck. He's the left fielder. A couple of big flies. He also nailed a runner at home in a must-make throw. He launches one to center, but it's going to stay in the yard for Longo, who's underneath it to make the play. KP, today is about brackets everywhere, right? It's both on the men's side with these regionals and where we have elimination games and champions to be crowned. Nebraska and Texas, Texas Tech and UCLA.
Texas defending champs. Loser goes home. Winner moves on to play Tennessee, and then Texas Tech, last year's runner-up, and the Bruins later on tonight.
ABC right back up the middle. And what is old is new again. He does it one more time, and another 1-2-3 inning for the guy. Colby's been outstanding.
Not taking too many pitches. Colby Guy, he may be buying dinner for this guy tonight, because this is a pretty good way to start the inning. New Contreras, solo jack, and then a defensive gem. Devils with the early lead.
You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals, and they are presented by Capital One. KP, explain who that is up there.
That's a sower, Rav. On top of the Capitol building, just, what do we got, maybe a mile away, maybe?
As the crow flies, or as New hits him, yeah.
Sowing the seeds of awesome all around the state.
Lincoln, Nebraska, about 1 hour direct. I mean, you don't need a direct flight, you just direct car ride, 1 hour, door to door. Omaha, Epley Airfield gets you down here. 1 hour west. And that one is a one hopper fielded. Great fielder, Carey, long throw, in time. What a play by Carey, and Longo appeared to miss the green bag and maybe twist an ankle, but they're going to take a look at it.
Not quite sure what he was doing down there. Dylan Carey, by the way, can really defend it short. The Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year sets his feet.
Base, plays under review.
Oh, he slipped. That's
yeah.
what it was. I couldn't tell exactly what it was. That spike just didn't catch in the bag. I think they got it.
I do too.
Billy Van Rapport's the crew chief. Also at first base today. He'll go put the headset on. Where they at, Rev? Where they at? Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Getting some yins in him. That, by the way, was a phenomenal play. We've had 2 web gems.
And Carey can really play the game. Senior shortstop that they didn't think would be back wearing the Husker uniform this year. Thought he'd get drafted and signed. Instead, decided to come back, and he's got his career high in home runs. Where's that baseball?
You know what the crowd doesn't need right now? Pittsburgh.
No.
They have a screen out there in right center where they are convinced they've seen enough evidence to confirm the call on the field.
How many screens in Pittsburgh?
11,000.
Lots of them. Yeah.
Here, one giant one.
After review, the call is confirmed. The runner is out. Arizona State has 1 challenge
Dylan
remaining.
Carey did a great job, KP, because he planted that foot to set, and that's a long throw across the diamond.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a quarterback playing shortstop. He runs the defense from there, and guy that has kind of been in the middle of everything this year for Nebraska, a team that came into this regional tied for first in the country in fielding percentage.
Matt Polk pulls one foul. This crowd's into everything. Foul balls. They got their eyes on the sower. Kids sitting down the left field line with the berm. They get the baseball tossed back to them from Buck. Just a beautiful day. Good day to be at the yard.
Attaboy. He took a nasty one hopper right there.
He did. Polk, who started at Vanderbilt, has been around. He's one of the few. This team by Willie Bloomquist, a longtime major league player, I should say. He managed this team by going deep into the portal. It's basically a portal rebuild. Sky high into that big, bright blue sky. And the freshman of the year in the conference, Grigo, is there to make the play.
Yeah, I mean, you go high school recruit to start, and Hairston and Contradas, and then it's pretty portal heavy after that.
And not knowing what you were going to get out of Hairston or Contradas, given the injuries, Bloomquist knew he had to go there. Now, they do have the full complement of scholarships, which, as he acknowledged a few days ago to us, does make a difference. And here is Austin Rolig. In the 17-0 win over South Dakota State, they hit 2 grand slams. Contradas and this kid right here, Austin Rolig, the sophomore. Made a few great plays as well, the former LSU infielder. Tommy John surgery back in high school. And Blackowitz, that one's going to get over the head of the second baseman easily and drop into right field. So a 2-out hit for Austin Rolig. Now another one of the veterans is the catcher Brody Briggs. But part of the building process for this season was to figure out who was going to be the everyday guy Willie Bloomquist settled on Briggs, the catcher. It's worked out really well. But between he and Moutsouridis, the shortstop at the bottom, the length of the lineup is a little bit light. Red Stokes is again about 30 feet into shallow right field. I've seen second baseman play deep. I mean, he's so deep.
Well, and I mean, a lot of times you see guys do that on turf, too,
yeah,
to where it's going to get to you a little bit quicker. But obviously, in this case, Stokes not afraid to go, what, 30 feet deep onto the grass?
Feels that way. Yeah, on the corner. Saw this last night. Ty Horn was so good to start the game for Nebraska. And every time he got to 2 strikes, the crowd rose to their feet. They're doing it again here for Blackowitz. Really nice catch by Trey Fikes. Not sure he had anticipated having to do that.
No. 0-2, you want to make sure it's in a spot they can't do any damage, and that was in fact it.
It would count. Blackowitz ready on a 1-2. Called strike 3. Fikes was coming up because Rolig had faked a steal. He stayed put. And Blackowitz is having his own Michael Jordan game, if you will. Feeling good. 1-0, ended 2, and we will talk with Willie B after this. Bloomquist is the head coach of the Sun Devils and joins us now. You've seen 2 things. You've seen a start to the season from Hairston, which I know you told us you hadn't really seen anything like it before. But what in the world is going on with New Contratus right now?
Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's our most dynamic player. When he's healthy, he's arguably our best player all around. Kid can run, can hit for power, hit for average, play defense, as you guys can see. And he's a tough kid. He's a free safety playing baseball, man. He's got that right mentality and made up of the right stuff. So just a phenomenal kid, and he's locked in right now.
Yeah,
let's keep riding it.
He is having a moment.
We're doing everything we can to push him up the draft board, too.
So am I. So am I. They're dumb if they don't take him high. So.
Hey, so when you get to this game, okay, game 1 on Sunday, a lot of times it takes an effort from a pitcher that maybe you haven't seen before. And Colby Guy's been really good the first 2 innings. What's realistic expectations as far as length?
Well, you know, he's used to starting. He hasn't started a ton this year for us, but his couple of starts that he's done really well. You know, I think if we're going to ride him as long as he's showing good stuff, if we can get him through 4 or 5 innings, maybe even 6, if he's really cruising and his pitch count's low, we'll keep riding him.
Well, we appreciate that as this ball is tagged to left field. Overbeek, got one. Home run, Joshua Overbeek. And we are tied at Haymarket Park. Willie, bad timing award, but thank you very much.
Appreciate you, Willie.
Well, Hairston's okay. He seemed to sort of forget that there was a wall out there and just ran smack dab right into it as the ball from Overbeek sailed over.
Yeah, he was about ready to jump and try to go get it too. It just ran out of room. You've talked about Overbeek, man. I mean, he's one of the veteran leaders of this team, and this is a pretty good day for a left-hander. Backspin one out to left field because that wind's going to help it right out of here, and it was enough to tie the game.
Overbeek leading off an inning, hitting 373 as we take another look at Landon smacking into that wall. Boy, that's an uncomfortable feeling. You were right, KP. He was just about set to get into those legs and leap when the wall said no. See how Guy deals with the adversity of having this game tied up on the blast from Overbeek. Grigo, the right fielder, 2-1. And he chased one there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That one's been really good so far. That's been the one that Guy can lean on. It's such a funny game sometimes. You cruise through the first 6 and nobody makes solid contact. Then Overbeek runs into one, crowd gets into it, and ball game changes right away.
Good job there to bounce back, though, as he strikes out Grigo. That'll be his 3rd strikeout here in the 3rd.
Well, for Overbeek, I mean, it's the veteran leader, but they haven't seen a whole lot of that this year. That is the home run, and Overbeek's 4th is a pretty big swing. Stays with that ball, is down in the zone, rides the jet stream out to left to tie it.
Seeing where it landed, you then realize Hairston had 0 chance to go and get it. And now Stokes, after Grigo struck out. Bottom of this order, too. Grigo is now 1 for 8 on the weekend.
Ooh. That's pretty good there.
Was, and it's now a 2-0 count to Colby Guy, who came in 1-0 with a 587. Only 23 innings under his belt. On the ground, fielded at 3rd cleanly by Rolig, who steps into it and throws a cannon shot over there.
He's been really good over there defensively, too. This Arizona State infield has shown out well in their time in Lincoln.
It feels like Moutsouridis, the shortstop, generally the guy that is looked on as the captain of the defense and the one that makes the big play. He hadn't had as many chances as Contreras or Rolig, and they've made every one of theirs. Now we're at the top for Mac Moyer. He looks at a slider on the outside corner for a strike. Father Jamie Moyer, Karen, the clan is here. It's a large clan rooting on Mac, who fouls one off to fall behind 0-2. Wasn't originally in the starting lineup to start the season, and then once they inserted him, Mac pitched a tent and said, "I'm not leaving." 4 hits in the first game, and that was the end of that.
I'm staying right here.
Not surprisingly, they do talk about his baseball acumen, his IQ, which is terrific. Covers a lot of ground out there in center field. But as hard as Guy has thrown a ball today, 94 miles an hour. Huskers in their black. Moyer struck out his 1st time up. Will strike out his 2nd time up. Colby Guy gave up 1 big fly to Joshua Overbeek. Other than that, he has been very solid.
4 strikeouts for Colby Guy so far, but this big fly right there tied it up. We'll talk to the Husker head coach, Will Bolt, when we come back.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NCAA Baseball Regionals. They are presented by Capital One. It is a Chamber of Commerce type day here. Temperatures in the 80s. Of course, Will Bolt is used to that. He is the guy that has really helped build this program to what it is, and he joins us right now. Thanks for being with us. What do you make of the start to this one, an elimination game?
Yeah, great atmosphere going already. They got the first big swing. We answered back right there. Now we just need to shut down inning.
Well, kind of a strange start to the day. I mean, you come out, play one inning, got to go back in, change jerseys, come back out an hour and a half later. What do you tell your guys after that one and then heading into this one?
Yeah, I mean, just not to make it, anything more than just the, compete pitch to pitch here. I mean, you can look at it like we got a long road to go, or you can just look at it like we got to win every inning and just compete to do that. And, don't change anything from what we've done all year.
All right, Will, thanks very much for being with us.
Appreciate you, Will.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Will Bolt, who caught the pop-up back in 2001, which sent them to the College World Series. We've seen it a few times during the course of this weekend, and I'm sure our producer Kevin Clark's gonna bring that one back.
Yeah, that is a moment that Nebraska baseball fans will never forget. First time that the Huskers had ever advanced. They have been 3 times down I-80 at Omaha.
Number 9 hitter, P.J. Mutsaritas. And looks at one that's just a little bit up from Blackowitz. And you think about how this entire program was built. It really was Dave Van Horn who went out of his way to try to get Will Bolt to come to Lincoln. And that in itself was a challenge. A jam shot there. Because when he first approached him, KP, what, Northwestern State?
Northwestern State, Dave and
Rob Childress.
Rob Childress are both there.
And Will picked up the phone, and when it was a Northwestern State call, he's like, yeah, not really interested in that. I have some bigger dreams, think I'm more capable. And that one is just a little bit down. So after he had denied Childress and Dave Van Horn, 2 months later, they call him again. He's like, what in the world, man? I thought I said no to these people. Why are they being a pain? And at that point, they said, yeah, we're now in Lincoln. And that's a liner that is over the head of the shortstop. And it's going to be good for a hit for the 9-hole hitter, Mutsaritas. So he said, oh, you're at Nebraska. Well, that changes this conversation.
Yeah, maybe I'll come up there and be a part of something historic. And that's exactly what this was. 2001, not far away from here at Buck Belzer Field against Rice. Will's the shortstop. And that was the final out to send the Huskers to their first College World Series.
Began a pretty good run for Dave Van Horn and company here in Lincoln, and now it's back to that again, and the expectations very high thanks to what Will Bolt has done, he and his crew. And yes, Rob Childress is his pitching coach.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He was Rob's assistant at Texas A&M, and then when he got the head job here, asked Rob to come up and help him. It's been a great match in 2 different places.
Letter high fastball. Hairston, who has a pretty good acumen when it comes to the strike zone, shakes his head. So to say, nope, that one was a little bit up. Kind of waiting for this kid to explode with his 28 homers and 79 RBI this year. And you know who is on deck.
You know new.
You know new is right. 4 home runs here in the regional. Hairston off the end of his bat. And again, Ed Burham's been very popular with the foul balls today. So not many people saw Hairston's season coming, especially when you consider what he did last year. I mean, you could count the number of homers he hit on one hand, and then to jump to 28. 2-2, runner goes. He swings, bloofs one to right. Not a great read from Grigo, and now he comes back in to get it. And there's some more frustration from Hairston, who will walk back with his bat after being denied again.
He's got a little protection behind him, though. Contradas, this is his 4th. It's only the 3rd game Arizona State's played this weekend. New's gone deep 4 times, at least once in every game. And the first one today was an absolute no-doubter.
You really have to pitch him carefully because Toigo behind him hasn't done much damage at all, but Contradas There's been a wrecking crew. That one gets by,
Great
and here
jump.
goes Mutsouridis, and an easy bag for him to second.
That's a great read and a great jump there by Mutsouridis. Good secondary, read dirt ball right away, and really didn't wait. The minute that he read it, watch secondary, read it down, he's gone. No reason to peek, put your head down and go, and he takes an extra 90. Yeah, Blockowitz this year, 15 wild pitches. That is a big numeral.
Maybe a little more careful with first base open. Even only one out, and we're early. Contreras has been a wrecking ball. Well, he gave him one to hit. He fouled it out of play. Ooh, that's a close one. But when you've got 4 homers and you're hitting the ball the way you are, you maybe get a little benefit of the doubt. Just off to Contreras, who committed to ASU out of Hawaii. Gatorade Hawaii Baseball Player of the Year. Hit .462 final year in high school. Yes, he did. I'm going to go with a little Anthony Rendon, KP.
Hey, I'd like that call right there.
Kind of holds the bat similarly. He's only been walked 15 times this year. 16. Now you got a force at every base on the infield except home for Dean Toigo. He popped out to the second baseman his first time up. Toigo is certainly a guy capable with 18 homers this year, the same number that he hit last year at UNLV. KP, I don't know if you remember, but he had 74 RBIs. He had an OPS of 1,100 last year.
That's why when Mr. Toigo went in the portal, there was plenty of suitors for him. Rob Childers on his way out. There is zero activity right now in that Nebraska bullpen. So this one's just a discussion. I think Trey Fikes walked out there to talk with Blackowitz, and then when he got out there, turned to the dugout, called out Rob.
Reinforcements are moving. I would assume it has to do with how he's feeling. Not necessarily with the stomach issue, but just feeling, because you're right. When the catcher goes out, there's some indication of the catcher. We got to talk about something. And then when the pitching coach goes out, as opposed to, we're good, stay where you are. That gets some activity in the Nebraska pen. Heart of the order, and a 1-1 game, an elimination game here in Lincoln for one of these two teams. Comes back to start him off with a strike. Hard to second, fielded cleanly by Stokes, and he threw it away. This cost Nebraska last night, and it costs him here as a run comes in on what looked like a double play ball. And that is not Nebraska baseball this season.
It was uncharacteristic yesterday against Ole Miss, and it led to some Ole Miss runs. The exact same thing here. I mean, they had it played perfectly, hit right in the shift, and then Carey just has no chance at that throw. Stokes had time, too.
Yeah,
that ball was hit hard, but well offline. You can see Carey can't get there. Maybe you come off the bag a little bit for that one too. But anyway, off the end of his glove, what could have been a double play and get Nebraska out of the inning instead leads to an Arizona State run.
Second and third. Really hard, KP, to get in the heads of these guys, but to understand like why their defense the last couple of nights has failed them. For Stokes, it's only the third error he's committed this year, and you see how good they've been. Last night, a throw from left field that was past Overbeek, the third baseman. The pitcher wasn't backing up. That allowed a run to score.
Well, they dropped a ball in foul territory that didn't go as an error,
Yep.
but I mean, probably should have.
So Arizona State answers here in the bottom of the third, the run that Nebraska had gotten back on the Overbeek homer. One-two, he's looking for a strikeout of Smaldino, and he will not get it on that pitch. Smaldino, one of a couple of Cal transfers on this team. Second on the team in homers with 11 last year. Lifts one high, and is it going to be deep enough to get Contradas in? It certainly looks like it. It's caught out there, stumbling in right field and falling down was Grigo, but touching home is Contradas, and it's 3-1 Arizona State. That's a good answer from the Sun Devils after Overbeek's homer.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if somebody's going to give you 4 outs in an inning, it's on you to take advantage of it, and they did right there. The one-run scores on the air, and now Smaldino takes advantage deep enough to right field to score another run.
2-run game, and here is Longo. Strike one. Back-to-back Dominics in this batting order, Smaldino and now Longo. For a Smaldino who picks up another RBI, that's 51 on the year.
We have Milwaukee
Uh-oh.
and Little Rock
Yep.
are both 2-0 in their regionals. They're both 4 seeds. St. John's is up on Northern Illinois right now. Would be a 3 seed that would advance through. But we've got some chaos in certain areas of the country.
Cinderella has not gotten the memo that we're nearing midnight at all.
Ole Miss is the only 2 seed that started 2-0.
That's a fact. Arizona State came in with a bit of a 2-seed chip on their shoulder, thinking we could have been and should have been a 2 seed. 2 strikes on Longo. Look out. And now the Nebraska bench is getting into it pretty hot and heavy with Joe Maiden. Know what they're yelling about, Kyle?
Well, it wasn't a pitch up and in. I think it started before that.
Count goes 3-2, and here it comes from Blachowicz. That ball is launched to left field. Buck is back. Forget about that. It is carried all the way over the first berm. And the Sun Devils and Longo have lengthened the lead. (5-1) Arizona State, second home run for the Sun Devils.
They're not exactly sneaking them out here either,
No.
Rev.
No.
How about 426? I mean, that cleared the walkway out in left field.
Yeah.
Your second berm buddies back there just got one that they didn't think they were going to get.
Arizona State scored 17 yesterday, and it appears as if their bats are still running pretty toasty, as is the Nebraska dugout right now, who have been chirping in the ear of our home plate umpire for much of this inning. 2-run blast isn't going to help them. Has to feel good for Longo, who didn't get off to a very good start this season. The expectations, you mentioned it, were sky high for him.
There's some talent there, man.
Yeah.
That's an athletic dude with some real juice, and we just saw it.
7th home run that he has this year.
You're going to look back at this inning, and I understand Nebraska's they're not happy about the strike zone. They turn a double play, it's 1-1. They are off the field.
Yep. Polk with a swinging bunt, eat it. Seeing the pitcher fall down on his butt while trying to field that ground ball is sort of symbolic of this inning for the Huskers. Not sure he had any play at all. It should be an infield hit for Polk.
Yeah, I don't think they're throwing Polk out here. A little bit surprised there's nobody throwing down there in that Nebraska bullpen. And I mean, this thing it's happened pretty quick in this inning, but there's zero action right now.
Yeah, rolling liner, and that's just over the head and glove of Stokes. Moyer throws behind Polk, but that thing was stung back up the middle, and the bats are absolutely meeting ball right now for Arizona State.
Well, Nebraska already used a visit this inning too, so I mean they can't go out and slow things down right now unless they make a change. But now is some activity starting in the Husker bullpen, but nobody close to coming in.
3 singles and a home run in the inning. And the 9th batter of the inning is going to be Brody Briggs. Blackowitz needs an out, and he buries one in the dirt to Briggs, the 8th hitter. Mocharitas, who's on deck, got it all started. Remember, the 9-hole hitter started this inning off. And again, you remind everybody, KP, watching these regionals, double elimination. These two teams are playing now, and then the winner will play again. So part of your thinking has to be, well, what happens in the next game? But as you're doing that, you have to get to the next game.
Yes.
That's on the inside corner for a strike to go 1 ball, 2 strikes for Blackowitz.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have your ideal drawn out in your mind, and ideal has to go out the window sometimes, and you're quickly approaching that right now if you're Nebraska.
About 82 degrees outside. It's probably feeling like 92 to 100 inside that Cornhusker dugout right now. 40th pitch of this inning coming up. They've got 4 runs in, and another one off the end of the bat. Kids from Tempe, by the way, this temperature is right in their wheelhouse. Not very humid. Beautiful day today. They're comfortable, and they'll play as many games as they need to. This ball is hit to right center field. Moyer is going over, and he's under it, and he makes the catch on the track. That ball was hit a long way by Brody Briggs, but a frustrating inning for one and a fascinating inning for the other.
Punctuated by this one. No doubter off the bat of Dominic Longo. 4-run third for Arizona State. They're out to a 5-1 lead.
my fixation.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on. Celebrations and culminations. It starts June 12th. The College World Series, the greatest show on dirt in Omaha, Nebraska. 8 teams will meet there. And who will the 8 be? Today is a very big day. As many as 15 tickets could be punched today. Tallahassee Regional fell a day behind. They won't end until Monday, we know that. 14 teams, and we know ours, Ole Miss, Nebraska, 1 win away from advancing. And that is Ole Miss after the win today over Nebraska this morning. Arizona State's feeling really good right now about themselves. They got Colby Guy on the mound, who got ahead of this guy 0-2, now 1-2. He's saving pitchers and pitches every time he is back on the mound, and he's doing it again.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most interesting games of a regional every year. Because you got one team coming off a win, you got one team coming off a loss. In this case, you got Nebraska coming off a loss 2 hours ago. So it's just take the white tops off, put the black tops on, and you're right back at it. And Arizona State they left the ballpark yesterday at 5 o'clock.
Right. So they're sitting there right now, Ole Miss, probably in their hotel rooms, kind of thinking about the game coming up, but relaxing. I don't know. These are kids too, KP. They've all played doubleheaders. The idea that we're playing at 3 with a chance to get to a super, we're okay with that too.
And I mean, Arizona State, I think they did it again today. I don't think they took BP. If they did, it wasn't here. They may have taken it in the cages, but they didn't yesterday, and they looked okay. Nebraska offense this weekend, we talked about their defense. They've walked 4 times. They've punched out 23 times.
Yeah, it's not a good combination when you combine it with the defense.
Arkansas trying to stay alive down in Lawrence. They lead Northeastern 9-6 in the 9th. They would have to beat KU twice.
Pop straight up. Briggs is given a look. It's coming back towards him, and hey, had a chance, but it was right up against the wall. Yeah, again, the SEC has been the dominant teams in the regionals. It's SEC and Cinderella.
Yeah. Yeah, if you had Milwaukee scoring 22 runs in the first 2 games in the Auburn Regional and going 2-0, let's go to Vegas. Uh-oh.
Guy let that one get away, and that drilled carry in the back. So a pop fly that the catcher couldn't get to, understandably so, then leads to a hit batter. Yeah, KP, I mean, there were how many double-digit scoring games yesterday? Just big numbers.
Florida hit 5 home runs in an inning. Put 22 on Miami. The Canes got knocked out today by Troy.
Does Georgia have about 90 homers? This ball is hit to center field. Really good jump by Longo, who you've talked about his athleticism. He read that beautifully off the bat of Sanderson. They were 2 down.
Yeah, Georgia came into the weekend leading the country in home runs, and that lead is only getting bigger. How many did you say they hit in the first 2 games?
Was it 9? Georgia Tech. 5 home runs in game and 14 in the first 2 games. 14 in the first 2 games of the regional. This would be a good time for Jet Buck for Nebraska fans to get into another one, but no, it's 0-2. One more slider from Colby Guy. Barely any activity in the ASU pen. This guy tries to get through the 4th. Former All-American at Washburn, Division II, Jet Buck swings and misses, and Guy gets another one. High heat at 94. He's got a half dozen strikeouts, and it's starting to get a little anxious here at Haymarket Park.
Now, there's one of the reasons why Colby Guy, all he's done is given up a solo home run, 4 brilliant innings.
Ole Miss was the last team in the field back in 2022. They won the College World Series. This year, they come in as a very strong 2 seed, and they have managed to start 2-0 here in the regionals. And Mike Bianco's team has done it with some very good pitching, some timely defense. There have been some long balls as well. It is an offense that can blast off between Furness and Udemark and Becerra. Becerra hit one 432 feet on the right field line the other night. And back here as they await the winner of this one, Cooper Katsky, the junior, is going to take over for Blackowitz, and he's got to hold this score where it's at.
He can give him length. I mean, 10 starts on the year for Katsky. It's fastball, 2 breaking balls, and a changeup. Fastball into the low 90s. You feel like for Nebraska to have a chance, I think Katsky's got to give you 3 or 4 right here. Save the rest of that bullpen, hold this Arizona State offense down, which is not an easy thing to do.
No, and it's going to be Moutsouridis who led off last inning, the inning in which they scored 4. He's the 9-hitter, which means you'll see Hairston and Contradas again. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Katsky was the MAC pitcher of the year and an all-MAC first-team selection as a starter. Started his collegiate career at Indiana. 15+ in 2 seasons for the Hoosiers. Miami of Ohio was the stop before that as he fires again and misses badly away. Dangerous territory with the 9-hole hitter, and then the great Landon Hairston and new Contradas, who has not been retired today with a homer and the walk, and he's got 4 of them here in the regional. Does Contradas. That is on the line, and boy, Carey almost looked like he was jumping too early, but he's there to make the play, and there is 1 down. Squeeze it, people. Squeeze Play is your home for all the regional action, and you can scan that QR code, zap it if you want. And it gets you every game with the updates, the highlights, live look-ins, hear who's doing the games around the country. The ESPN Squeeze Play continues to be the social hot topic, trending. Now, Hairston just hasn't looked very, very comfortable, very balanced And when you see him take batting practice early in this week, it's different when he's locked in.
What did Willie say when we asked him yesterday?
Willie was making the point that at one point during this season, he went on a roll that he said he's never seen before. Now, Willie has seen a lot of baseball. And the guy that he's kind of nicknamed after, Landon Hairston, Harry Bonds, we all know what he did. But at one point, he hit 7 homers in 6 games, 9 in 10, and 14 in 17. And Willie said, I don't think people realize what he's doing. You don't see it very often. I've been around for a while. I've never seen anything like it.
And when we talked to him the other day, he said, you know what, I think he's maybe trying a little bit too hard right now. And you can see that when he's in there. He can flip and one at bat, though.
His father, Scott, covered for many years at ESPN doing baseball tonight. He was constantly on the highlights. I think a couple of 17 home run seasons with Padres, came to the Mets and hit 20. Uncle Jerry. 3-2. What has worked for him when he's been walked, KP, he's come in to score.
I mean, he walked 3 times yesterday, so, I mean, he still created some havoc. And he did drive in 2 with 2 singles.
Contreras looms on deck on a 3-2 from Katsky to Hairston. Called strike 3, and a bat goes way up in the air. That was a display that can get you run out of a game.
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked that it didn't.
And they're going to have a meeting, the umpires.
That one, that's a no-no.
There's 7,000 folks here who think he should be ejected, and of course our crew is talking about it now, and let's see what Billy Van Raphorst is deciding to do. After a call strike 3, Landon Hairston flipped his bat 15, 20 feet in the air. And this conversation has to do what, if any, punishment will be meted out.
After crew consultation, the hitter is ejected for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Working to find out whether the ejection in this game also means that he will be unable to play in the next game should they win.
I think it's pretty understandable right here. I mean, just like as a fan of the game, you want to see him play, but you cannot do that. It's just straightforward.
Right.
You can't do it.
So in the rule book, when an assistant coach, player other than a pitcher or team personnel other than the head coach ejected for disputing an umpire's decision or for unsportsmanlike conduct or language directed at an opponent or an umpire. As this one has popped up sky high, that's keeping Contreras in the infield. Carey is there, he makes the play. There'll be a 3-game suspension for subsequent ejections. However, a 1-game suspension in addition to the present game ejection.
That may matter.
We'll see if that applies to tonight if they win. One of the best players in the country. He's a Golden Spikes finalist. Player of the Year in the conference. Landon Hairston has been ejected from this game for his demonstration after he was called out on strikes. There, and then the bat goes 10, 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, what's interesting, and I don't know if he saw it, Joe Maiden, the home plate umpire, didn't throw him out right away.
Right away.
Billy Van Raphorst is the crew chief. He then came in. All 4 umpires discussed it, and they called Willie Bloomquist out. And then Billy Van Raphorst announced that they had ejected him. You have no choice. You have to do it. And I understand Willie's not happy in a situation like that, but if you really step back from it, take yourself kind of out of the uniform, you got to do it.
Still hanging around the dugout, which after the ejection, I think the point is it requires you to leave. Will Bolt came out and spoke with our home plate umpire, who has now brought in the crew chief. And now being escorted off the field. His head coach is walking along with him.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea there.
And this one will take a bit. Kai McGarry is going to be the guy that's going to take his place and is out in left field.
There's no visiting clubhouse that attaches to the dugout here. I mean, if you get thrown out other places at a clubhouse, or you can go in a clubhouse and that fulfills it, but not here. In this case, you got to get out of there. Well, that's added a little intrigue to this one round.
It sure does. One of those moments you'll circle, because I think kind of lost in it after that, Contreras, who's done nothing but damage, flew out on the infield. And these are the types of things that can turn a game around.
Can also get a crowd right back in it. And it's not jammed today, but there's plenty here.
And they're vocal.
And they were up late.
My turn?
They didn't get a lot of sleep.
They're caffeinated.
Well,
quick turnaround.
They're hydrated. It could be numerous things, but yes.
So having to focus through it all is Colby Guy, and that's a good way to lead off the inning. He bends one of those sliders in there to start things off to Trey Fikes. Another one that's right on the fists. Yeah, that's going to be one of those, I assume, that Hairston is going to regret.
Yes, I think he already is.
Fikes beats it into the ground. It is off the glove of Smaldino, underhanded, and calmly gets it over there to Guy. That's a good job by Dominic Smaldino and Guy to cover to retire Fikes, the catcher.
Did confirm it is an additional 1-game suspension.
That's a big deal. If Arizona State hangs on and wins, you remove the player of the year in the conference and arguably the country tonight, if they win. Here's Overbeek.
Yeah, that noise you hear is coming from the Ole Miss hotel, I'm sure, right now, when they just saw that. That is one guy that you don't mind not being in the lineup.
No, and it certainly will impact the way that they pitch to Contreras.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it totally changed it. And they handled him, too.
Yeah.
I mean, their pitching staff was great against it, but still, I mean, he's got the opportunity to change a weekend with a couple swings.
Overbeek got a homer earlier, and he looks at one high. And a count of 3-0, and anything that this crowd can glom onto to celebrate, they will. And base runners are certainly going to be one of those things. Down 5-1 in the fifth of an elimination game. Ole Miss waits the winner in the final. Overbeek steps back in after taking a breather. 3-1. Laced up the middle, and Overbeek is 2 for 2. Overbeek's having a weekend. He's 5 for 9 after the homer, now a single.
It feels like the vets are going to be in the middle of it today. Overbeek, Sanderson, Carey. If Nebraska is going to pull this thing out, I think those three are going to be a part of it.
Bullpen is getting crowded for Arizona State. As Grigo, the freshman of the year in the conference, looks at a slider in there for strike one. 328 average for him, 7 homers. The power, like it will for Worthley, you assume will come over the course of the next couple of years. And a ground ball that is just foul. Gone.
Good spot. Good spot. 92. It's got a pretty good run on it, but just stuck it on the inside part of the plate. Grigo just can't do anything with it.
He's got Grigo twice. That's 7 strikeouts.
Grigo's having a rough weekend.
Yeah.
But this is one where if it's executed, it's tough for a right-hander to get to it and do anything with it.
1 for 10 with 5 strikeouts for the right fielder Grigo. And now Stokes. Contreras is playing shaded up the middle. That has been his money pitch, and he gets ahead with it again. Could not have asked for anything more so far from Colby Guy. What they've gotten out of him on a day they would have to win 2 games. And this one, end of the bat to left field. McGarry is in the game for Hairston, and he's there to make the play. They got the runner on with Overbeek, but relatively quiet ever since his homer in the 3rd. It stays 5-1. Story of the day, and there's been 3 of them. Contradas goes yard again. Hairston gets thrown out of the game, and Colby Guy is having a game for the ages on the mound. His season high in strikeouts was 4 against Grand Canyon State. He's nearly doubled that. And we head to the bottom of the 5th with the winner going to the Lincoln Regional Final against Ole Miss. What do you think? In order, it would be Guy 1, Contradas 2, and then Hairston 3 for this game.
Yes. Yeah, Guy may be 1 and 2 right now. I mean, 1, you got a 4-run lead. 2, nobody in that bullpen has heated up to this point.
And you got another game potentially ahead of you. Toigo off the end of the bat. Nice job by Katsky to get over and flip for an easy out. KP, if you ever want to talk baseball, Smaldino would be your guy, or Smaldino's mom. They have a rich history of baseball in this family. So, the great-great-grandfather Joe Stevenson was a scout for the Boston Red Sox for more than 50 years. His grandfather Jerry was a scout for the Dodgers for more than 20, who pitched on the '67 Impossible Dream Team in the World Series for the Red Sox. Great-grandfather Joe signed Rick Burleson, the Rooster, Bill Spaceman Lee, Dewey Evans, and Fred Lynn.
Really?
Yeah, so Smaldino has his grandfather's
That's
framed jersey from the '67 team hanging in his room. He also has a Tommy Lasorda jersey hanging in his room. Good room.
That's a real good room.
3-0 to Smaldino, who looks at strike 1. And for those that go to Cooperstown every year and visit, his great-grandfather Joe's scouting reports are in Cooperstown.
Well, it sounds like they probably should be, yeah.
That's talent evaluation. Smaldino, 3-1. Is it in the jet stream to right? It is deep at the wall, jumping, gone! Dean Smaldino writes some of his own history with a shot here. And they lead at 6-1. Boy, KP, that one did stay maybe underneath the scoreboard to use any wind blocking abilities. And another homer for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, we have seen it fly that way, especially from right-handers. I mean, we've seen a bunch of opposite field home runs that way by right-handed hitters. And Dominic Smaldino does it right here. 91-mile-an-hour fastball down. He went and got it, but was in a fastball count. 104 off the bat. 377 to right center to extend that Devil lead.
17th homer for Smaldino this season. And all those baseball stories and roots, he now has a story he can tell for a long, long time. If anybody attached significance to the ejection of Hairston and maybe a momentum swing, that's a very good way to eliminate that thought with a homer, and certainly the way Guy has been pitching.
Yep.
Third homer of the game for Arizona State. Smaldino, Longo, and of course Contradas. One out in the 2-2. On the ground is short, fielded cleanly by Carey. And his throw was able to be held on the bag by Sanderson. You want complete coverage of everything happening with baseball regionals? Go to ncaa.com for the latest news, expert insight, and analysis. Everything going on with these regionals. It'll happen again in the super regionals and certainly during the College World Series in Omaha, where the SEC has been the dominant conference, winning for the foreseeable past, and we'll see if they can do it again this year. Certainly are in position with the teams that are moving into or have the chance to move into supers. Mississippi State's playing very well. All of a sudden, Texas is double-digit runs when they go on the field.
Yeah, how about that offense? Anthony Pack went deep 3 times in their opener.
Anthony Pack is one of those freshmen who is way beyond his years. And there is some strength. You look at him, he's not a giant, but man, he's got some strength in that swing. Polk pulls it foul. KP, we got some clouds kind of settling in over the ballpark. I'm not saying ominous ones, but
happy clouds.
Yeah.
Those are very happy clouds. We're good.
What would you describe the clouds as last night?
They were a little angry.
Angry, they were. Lightning lighting up the Nebraska sky last night. Looked like cracks in a pavement as they pierced across the sky. Except they were really bright. 3-2 to Polk. KP, top of the order coming up with Moyer, who has not been on base and struck out twice. They're going to need a little energy in this ballpark.
Yeah, Huskers got to get it going here pretty good offensively.
Trying to get him off the field with a 3-2 on the ground, a third. Another mistake by the Huskers. You could tell that Overbeek's throw was sailing, and Sanderson tried to hold the bag, and the nightmare continues. And they're going to give third base, I believe, to Polk.
And Overbeek has had his challenges this year defensively. That's his 12th error. Came infield 9-11, and he had time on this too. Definitely didn't need to speed it up, but if Nebraska gets beat, they're going to look back on this regional, and the one thing that they have done that is very unlike them for this year is they just have not defended at a high level.
So Polk will stay at second base.
That being said, you see Alabama won a game last night and they made 6 errors.
Which you actually can't do.
That is baffling.
You can't do that. There almost should be a rule that if you make 5 in a game, you automatically lose the game.
Just call it.
Yeah. But that's the 4th error this weekend against Nebraska at a time you need to be razor focused and execute at the highest level. 4 errors. Hard to explain, like this game. Yeah, it's been self-inflicted on Will Bolt's team in many ways. Here's another chance for Carey. He's up with it. His throw is good. And that will end the inning. Stranded out there is Matt Polk. It's a 5-run game, KP. 3 homers for the Sun Devils.
Smaldino with a solo shot to extend a lead. Fastball down and away, and the big man goes and gets it. Rides that jet stream out to right. It's 6-1 Arizona State.
Back with Kyle Peterson, Carl Ravitch. Check on the Lady Cornhuskers College World Series. Jordy Fromm, thanks for playing. She has yet to allow a hit. She has struck out 5. And she's gone yickety-yak with a home run, thus Nebraska leading 1-0.
Yeah, Fromm leads Nebraska in home runs this year. One of the best players in the country. Again, they tore up the Huskers softball field. They're putting turf in. Played supers there last weekend. Field gone.
See you later.
New one coming.
Wildly popular team. Nebraska's volleyball team, softball team, they had it here last week, and it was packed. Hotel rooms not to be found. They opened up the Peterson abode for people that needed rooms.
We did not. No, we were shut down last weekend.
Shut it. Okay. 5-run deficit here, KP. Mac Moyer feels like if they're going to get Guy, this is a time, and that is tailor-made for the shortstop Moutsouridis. And Moyer is retired. He's 0 for 3 today.
It looks routine to Moutsouridis. This is pretty good glove work because it looked like it hit off the cut of the grass. He's expecting this to go off the dirt and get a high hop. Watch the hop as it gets close to Moutsouridis. Zips right off there, and the glove's got to go all the way down. That's a pretty quick reaction to a ball that didn't move the way that he thought it was.
He got a little tired of Rolig and Contradas getting all the attention on the infield.
Get it to me.
Give me one.
Bored out here.
Let me show him what I got. What Guy has is coming off of that start. We talked about it at the top of the program. The Big 12 tournament against Houston when he went 5 innings. He's got one out in the 6th.
So we got longest outing of the year. He now has more strikeouts than any outing that he's had this year in what is undoubtedly his most important outing of the year. This is a season saver right now for Colby Guy so far.
Yeah, it sure is. And if you're just tuning in, the Devils, of course, Sun Devils known for Landon Hairston and his offense, but it's Guy show today, and Contradas, their second baseman. And Hairston has been ejected from the game, and under the rules will not be allowed to play in their regional final tonight if they hang on and win here. Ole Miss is waiting for them, but he was ejected after being called out on a strike. He flipped his bat 10-15 feet up in the air and was ejected. That's going to be a hit up the middle. And Worthley and his speed are aboard. Let's see if this can ignite the Huskers a little bit. All right, Major League fans, catch every out-of-market game all season long with MLB.tv. It's your home for baseball anytime, anywhere. You say Nebraska, is that Cubs country? I mean, who do we root for? And
you got some Cubs, you got some Cardinals, some Royals.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Plus Alex Gordon's
couple Twins
relationship. Caught at third base, and again the glove work continues to shine. Rolig took that away. Wasn't hit very hard, but he did have to leave his feet. And a second out with a runner on first.
Well, positioned perfectly too. If he's 2 steps one way or the other, he's got no chance to get to this, but just extends that glove, jumps at the right time, and takes away what could have really changed this inning. I don't know if it's extra bases, but you get 2 on with Sanderson coming up. That's a real chance for the Huskers. Now just 2 outs and a man on first.
Good look from Colby Guy, too, to his guy over there at third. All right, so, too, you think about it. The start against Houston in the Big 12 tournament, you think about what he's done here. I mean, this may change the way you think about Colby Guy if you're able to get through a game tonight. That pitch has been unhittable. He sort of gets his arm underneath it, KP. He's got a little frisbee action to it.
Yeah, he can frisbee it, and then he can add some depth to it, too. He's done both today. Adds a little bit more depth to the right-handers. Fastball still coming in 92, 93,
yeah,
which is about where he started the game.
Again, out of Chester, South Carolina, Jackson State, then UNC Asheville. That one is going to get through. Worthley to second, breaks are on there as it's fielded by Toigo. First and second. for Jet Buck.
I would think you get somebody moving down there now.
This will allow guys to get moving out there. Taylor Penn, who was going to figure in one of the two games either way, is warming up. But Buck is the guy. KP, you talked about him at the top as well. The impact he has had on the Huskers in the regional.
Yeah, he's kind of done it all. A couple home runs already, one at a first. This extended that Husker lead, gave a little more breathing room against South Dakota State, and then big swing yesterday as well against Ole Miss. Nebraska, I guess ultimately today they would fall, but for Jet Buck out of that 5-hole, had 9 home runs coming into the regional, now has 11. If he can figure out a way to hit his 12th, he can make it a 2-run game.
Yeah, this feels like a very big at bat for the Cornhuskers, down 6-1. Guy stays in, the first pitch is off. Power's been to right. Center fielder Longo is shaded towards left. There's some room out there in right center. 2 balls and no strikes. Trey Fikes, the catcher, due up next. All right, you got the catcher up next. You got a 3-0 count. You green lighting, Buck?
No.
Penn continues to warm in the bullpen. Two home runs at the regional. Can Buck deliver in a big spot? 3-1, no. This one is sky high, center field. Longo underneath it. And one more time, Colby Guy gets through an inning. He pumping his chest as he heads towards his dugout. He was outstanding today. If it's the end, it's 6 innings, it's 4 hits, it's only 1 run, and the lead is 5. Carl Peterson, Carl Ravitch, 5th inning of this one. Landon Hairston struck out, thrown out after he threw his bat in disgust on the call. Regardless of the protests of Willie Bloomquist, you are gone. Slow walk right past the fan base on the third base side. Ejected for the next game as well. And if they win, the next game is tonight in the regional final against Ole Miss. A massive decision by Hairston to flip that bat with some pretty significant consequences. Bottom 6, home team is Arizona State, and Brody Briggs leads things off. And he is quickly ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. 2 men on, and Buck came up last inning, flew out to center field. Felt like a big opportunity for the Huskers. What a job for that guy, huh?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean,
and this one on a line to right field. It'll stay up there for Grigo. And there is 1 out on a line out from Brody Briggs.
I don't know if you had asked Arizona State's coaches before the game, like, what is your absolute best case scenario that they even would have come up without? That he goes 6 innings, gives up 1 run. It just, their hope was he'd get through the lineup twice.
Right.
Well, he did more than that, and he's only given up 1 run.
You know, as we've said before, on the road to Omaha, you have to have guys you don't have expectations. Have them step up.
Especially if you get beat.
For sure, right. Yeah, I agree. I'm not penciling Colby Guy in to give you 6 innings and 1 run in a game you have to win so that you can save some arms for the next one that you have to win. Feel good for him. He's been through some things. And now he's got a chance to sit back and watch, see if they can hang on to a 5-run lead, if not increase it. Mutsouridis looks at one that's just a little bit down. It's 2-1. Wonder how they will manage the next game with their lineup if they get there. Kerry Fields flops, and that'll be an infield hit for Mutsouridis. You move Contreras up to the 1 spot. You leave him in the 2 and put somebody else in the 1. Maybe Mutsouridis, who's got a couple of hits today.
Yeah, I bet he pushes Contreras up. I bet he pushes Contreras, Toigo, Smaldino all up 1 if I were to.
Okay.
If I were to guess.
You would play head coach for today?
No, I'd get thrown out in the 1st inning.
This is the spot that was Hairston's, and now it's Kai McGarry. How many times have you been ejected? Like, were you ejected?
Twice in the minor leagues.
For?
Trying to help umpires out.
From the mound?
Attempting to. No, I was coaching first base once, and I was in the dugout the other time. I was hungry, and it was the 3rd inning. And
were you getting beat? No, like, I'm good. I'm done here.
One way to get to the food a little earlier. Get asked to leave.
You had a date with the Mr. Valentino?
Yes.
So you're just over there at first base, just chirping away.
Yeah, I don't remember what brought it on, but it was a warranted ejection, I will tell you that.
And then the one from the dugout, were you pitching in that game and barking about calls you weren't getting?
No, I was not in either of the games. No, the other one, I was just in the dugout.
What a great teammate supporting the rest of the guys. Great. McGarry, fair ball down the line and into the corner. Mutsouridis is being held at 3rd base as the throw comes on in. Buck had to dig it out of the corner, but how about Mutsouridis and now McGarry for Hairston?
Yeah.
Who has 1 more hit than Hairston had in 3 plate appearances.
We talked about the bottom of this order, right? Polk has reached base twice. Rolig has reached base twice. Now Mutsouridis has reached base twice. Now McGarry didn't start. He's only in the game because Hairston got ejected. His first at bat rips one down the line for a double. Now it forces Nebraska to defend totally differently too. Down 5 runs, just 1 out. Will Bolt will bring the infield in here.
Yeah, you have to against the toughest hitter to get out in Contreras. And by the way, quickly, that's McGarry's first double of the year. So everything is going right for Arizona State. The Sun Devils looking for a redo of their 14-inning game against Ole Miss earlier in the regionals here. Back and forth seesaw game that ultimately Ole Miss prevailed at about 1:15 a.m. here in Lincoln. Remember, as the 3 seed, they came in, and as Willie Bloomquist wasn't shy about reminding people, I don't know, I guess we're a 3 seed, and we're going to absolutely kind of wear that a little bit. That was the implication.
Well, then he tried to play the underdog role.
Yes, exactly right. Guess we're the underdogs.
They're pretty talented, I'll tell you that. I mean, we have seen that, especially offensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to be the idea of being tired that would cost them in another game. It's going to be more about the pitching that they have left, and maybe the pitching of Ole Miss as well. Cooper Katsky's day is done. He leaves with 1 out. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, and a 6-1 ASU lead. Smash to left field. Back goes Sermons. Forget about it. Contreras is second of the night. Randall on the ground, fielded, fired home, and out at home. What a play. Randall, that's the game. He wins it. A 1:16 a.m. walk-off. Long night resulted in a 7-6 win in 14 innings. And then Ole Miss took care of Nebraska yesterday, 6-3 the final there. We are watching Arizona State, Nebraska. And as a result, Ole Miss waits the winner here. We come back with the intentional walk, smart probably to Contreras to load him up, force everywhere for the new pitcher, Colin Novacek.
Elkhorn, Nebraska. How about that, Rav? That's my hometown. 12 1/3 innings, 13 walks, a big one that sticks out, especially in this spot.
Yeah, slow roller. It's fielded. There is no play. Everybody is safe. It wasn't going to go foul, and Sanderson really had no choice. In a game of inches, every inch is working out for Arizona State.
Yeah, it is. I was just thinking the same thing. It's you know, they're falling when sometimes they shouldn't. A swinging bunt by probably the biggest guy in the field right here when Nebraska has the infield in. And maybe you probably do have enough time to get that out at first base, but maybe out of desperation right there. Sanderson tries to go home, and it just extends the inning. Still just 1 out, bases loaded, and 1 in.
For Smaldino. And he sends one down the line in right towards the corner with Carey. Grand slam and a statement from Smaldino. His second of the day, 5 RBI. And the Sun Devils demand a rematch with the Rebels.
Devils making quite a statement right here, man. Smaldino 2 home runs. Contreras has 3 home runs on the weekend. Toigo's gone deep. Longo went deep earlier today. A 5-run sixth for A-State, and they lead it by 10.
4 home runs on the day. A day after scoring 17. Liner over the head of Carey. And it is a hit parade right now, and they are hard hit. Beware Ole Miss, because the bats have absolutely woken up for Arizona State.
He's done this twice. Both home runs have gone to right or right center, and Smaldino not afraid to use that part of the ballpark. Seems like a pretty good approach for right-handed hitters this weekend.
Sure, anything out there.
Get in the air to
like
right, it's got a chance to go.
A double dose of bad news for Nebraska. They lose the resumption of the game earlier, as Ole Miss kept them at bay. They lose that 6-3, and they are getting thumped in this one 11-1 by the Sun Devils, who've blasted off 4 times. Doing it without arguably the best hitter in the country, who has been thrown out. Back with more after this in the bottom of the 6th. Now grab the hockey helmet. We are celebrating in that dugout, and we remind everybody, speaking of hockey, it is game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The Hurricanes of Carolina, the Golden Knights of Vegas. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, the next night, the NBA Finals in what may be one of the more memorable finals, the New York Knicks and Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. That's pretty good. You got a Stanley Cup final and an NBA final Tuesday and Wednesday. We, of course, have the College World Series finals coming up at the 3rd weekend of June, but you got to get there first, and you got to win a regional.
Well, Kevin Manel out of that Nebraska bullpen just trying to stop the bleeding here.
Now, if you're in the first base box for Nebraska and you're down 11-1, it's the 7th you're coming up. Are you getting thrown out of that game? Are you like done at that point?
Not in college.
11-1?
11-1 when I was playing for the Stockton Ports on a Tuesday. We were playing the Modesto A's. Yeah, I may do some umpire helping at that point.
Runner is going, and the throw down is not in time.
Gotta keep that tag on him just in case. Get those head first slides as swipe tags. You never know, they may come off.
Yeah, we saw that earlier this week as Dominic Longo, it feels like, is getting his legs and every other part of his game going. 7th steal of the year for Longo, who's got a homer and a single today.
Husker softball season has come to an end. Texas a 3-spot late. Knocks the Lady Huskers out, but it had been a while since they had been to Oklahoma City. Pretty cool year. Hosted a regional, hosted a super. Ronda Revell's club. And the entire state paying attention to softball for a good, the season, but definitely for the last 3 weeks.
And Jordy Fromm in her first year and final certainly lived up to all the expectations coming back to her home state. This has the potential to be a day of mourning in Nebraska. You may lose both your softball and baseball team seasons. Rolling with 2 outs, lines one in the gap, and that's going to get down, and Longo is putting the brakes on as it's thrown back in by Buck. Everybody's hitting, and that is the 3rd of the game for Rolling.
It's the 2nd time today that Arizona State has sent at least 9 to the plate in 1 inning. "11 runs on 12 hits for the Devils. They have not made an error. And to this point have only used 1 pitcher.
They're going to get Cade Townsend tonight. That has been announced by Ole Miss, waiting on their lineup. But Townsend's going to be on the mound for Ole Miss. At times he has been sparkling. Inside to Riggs.
Yeah, almost has the advantage of having 3 real starters. 3 guys that have been proven over the course of the year, and Townsend has gotten better. Rave's made a huge jump in the last 2 months, and he was very, very good yesterday.
Well, for the games that they've played during this regional, there's been disappointment for Nebraska, and it's been a pretty good offense all year, KP, and the offense really didn't show up at all in any of these games. High chopper to first. It's fielded by Sanderson. It's been part of the story for the Huskers. Unable to execute on defense. They've given up a bunch of bombs, including another one to Dominic Smaldino, who's anything but small as he goes grand style with that blast. 11-1 to the 7th we go. All right, KP, time to take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance.
I got a pretty good idea who it is, Rev. How about Colby Guy?
That guy.
That guy. He was that guy today. Colby Guy will exit after 6 outstanding innings. Gave up just a solo home run. That was the only run that he gave up. Career high at Arizona State for innings, career high for strikeouts, and in all likelihood, the guy that is most important for Arizona State's season continuing.
Congratulations. That was fantastic. Colby Guy, 4 innings, no walks, 83 pitches, and an absolute bullpen saver on a day in which you have to play 2 baseball games. You could not have asked more from Colby Guy. Into the game now for the first time, Josh Butler with a 10-run cushion to work with. 9 outs until they can get into the regional final against Ole Miss.
I think one of the reasons you bring Butler in here, he's thrown a ton of strikes this year. Just 3 walks over the course of the season. That's the biggest thing you want, is somebody that can fill the zone up. And
boy, that's a defense you can trust too, isn't it?
Yeah, and ideally he can finish this thing out.
Got a chance to say hello to our old buddy Tim Brando, who happened to be rolling through the area for a golf event.
Playing a Larry the Cable Guy's deal. Out of Firethorn, Rav. You'd like that one.
What is it? What do you think you have to do to kind of get on lists when it comes to these celebrity events?
I don't know.
Is there a mailing list?
Apparently they lost my number too.
That's going to be a fair ball and a chance for extra base hit for Fikes, who steps on first, heads to second. The throw is not in time.
Now, it's a long way to go for the Huskers, but it's got to start somewhere. Fikes in there, his second start of the weekend. No backside double down the line to get Nebraska off to a good start here in the 7th.
Overbeek has been really the offensive star in a game in which there hasn't been much offense. 4 hits prior to that double from Fikes, and he had half of them with a homer and a single. Joshua is a senior. Don't forget that not only is it potential end of the road for teams and their seasons, but certainly many players around the country playing their last baseball games.
I think sometimes there's just an assumption that all these juniors and seniors at the bigger programs are going to go on and play pro ball, and that's not the case. For the younger guys, it's off to summer ball somewhere.
Yep.
Cape Cod, Northwoods League, Jayhawk League, places. There's a great California Collegiate League.
Who was talking about Alaska baseball?
Alaska Summer League used to be a huge deal.
Who was that? Was that?
I think it was Willie. Did Willie say he played there in the summer?
I think Bloomquist was talking about it, because then we talked about how it's just sunny, like 19 hours. 3-1. Overbeek looking to make some noise. And he doesn't have to. He gets walked. For a guy that doesn't walk anybody, Butler has given up a double and now a free pass.
Yeah, and a double on a 3-1 pitch, too. Went 3-ball to the first hitter and now walks Overbeek.
So the infield all comes together and whispers, we're up by 10.
We got you. Let's go. There's probably a little fire in this discussion right here.
I love that aspect of baseball, the idea that you can kind of get into a teammate's face and have no personal attachment to it.
It's great.
It's just great.
It's outstanding.
We're trying to do this together.
Yeah, I mean, we're with you, but we're going to smack you in the face and get you going in the meantime.
I really love that aspect about sports, but baseball in particular, and you know that's what that meeting was about.
You and I need to do that to each other a little bit more often.
I'm in on that.
Constructive criticism.
This is Butenbach, who is now a pinch hitter for Grigo. Drew had struck out twice. Butenbach rode one out to left last night for a 2-run home run and turned a 6-1 game into a 6-3 game. Is there magic again in this swing? Oh, this one is to left, but the ballpark will hold it on a nice play out there by Kai McGarry. Butenbach comes up about 15 feet short.
Close, and that's about the same place he hit it last night, too, that rode all the way out of here. Good pass at it right there, but just a long first out for Arizona State, who's now starting to count outs.
It's been an eventful day for the Arizona State Sun Devils. They scored the first run of the game and led it 1-0 in the third inning. They lost their best player, Landon Hairston, who was ejected from the game after he flipped his bat up in the air following being called out on strikes. Slow roller. This is a tough play. High throw. That's a mistake. Second run of the game is going to come in, and that ball is out. So second base and third base for the base runners. I would have thought that would have been one that he would have just said, you know what, I'm going to hold on to this thing. But instead, the decision to throw it cost Josh Butler.
You know, there's certain plays that you could just see happening from this vantage point, and that was one. The minute that he made the decision to throw this, Butler, it just wasn't quite the right one. You could see that ball moving around in his hand too. Didn't have the right grip, and especially then if you do, that's when you got to put it in your pocket. But the Huskers get one back right here.
Can Moyer break through? Oh, this is trouble. This one is going to drop, and no one is there to get it. It's going to bring in both runners. Now, hang on a second. You get an error and then a bloop. 11-4. And that all of a sudden triggers some thoughts inside that ASU dugout about who do we need to now think about throwing to make sure this doesn't get away from us.
Yeah, there'll be some movement down that bullpen.
They've made a living of comebacks, not generally from 10 runs down, but they are as good as any team in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning when it comes to putting the bat on the ball. And now Worthley. Talked about Jalen and Jeter Worthley in their first game when Jalen was throwing to him to end the resumption of last night's. This is a big Michigan family. He certainly thought about going there, but instead turned his attention to Nebraska. Due in part to the experience that his brother was having.
Yeah, I would say that speaks pretty loudly of a coaching staff.
No doubt.
Older brother's been there 3 years and younger brother says, yeah, that's where I want to go too.
Yes, sir. He was frozen there, and now it's 2-2. Moyer, good speed with a good lead at second base. And that is down the line in left. No one's going to get that either. Worthley's going to second. Moyer's coming home. That's a double. It's 11-5. Back-to-back doubles for the Cornhuskers.
And neither one of them hammered.
No.
I mean, off the bat of Moyer, it was just in the right spot. And really, this time for Worthley, kind of out in front of this breaking ball, but keeps the bat in his zone long enough, then just hooks it to a spot that nobody can make a play. All the way down that left field line. Moyer's going to come in and score easily. It's starting to get a little interesting right now in this ballpark.
I think that's the way to put it, because to your point, one of the things that's being said out there was, I'll take the ball. That wasn't a hard hit, but the Butler didn't do it today. He comes off the mound, and we will take a timeout. The Sun Devils still up comfortably, but another pitcher, Taylor Penn, forced into the game.
This
just eliminated Nebraska, and Katie Stewart, who was 0 for 6 in the World Series, got it done.
Goes to show you it doesn't matter what happened yesterday, it doesn't matter what happened during the regular season, but you can still have a chance to go deep in the World Series and keep your season alive.
Yeah, no hitter and then back-to-back-to-back hits. It was big.
Yeah, so the National Player of the Year, Jordy Fromm, her season is done with Nebraska, but the defending champs, Carl, are moving on. What a way to win it.
For sure, Courtney. Thank you guys very much. Look forward to the continuing coverage of the Women's College World Series. One swing from Stewart changes everything, and Nebraska has lost its softball team. They're trying to hang on to their baseball team and give the Huskers baseball team some credit, man. They're showing some fight after being down 11-1. They got 4 here in the 7th.
Well, and they have now forced Arizona State to go to one of their best arms. Taylor Penn was the guy that in an ideal world they did not want to use in this game if they were going to go on and win, but I think Willie Bloomquist looked at what was going on and the part of the order that's coming up right now for Nebraska, and it'll be a good time to go down there and get your best guy. Penn in right now. I would assume if you're going to bring Penn in this spot, the intent is probably to have him try to finish it.
Yeah, remember, Ole Miss used Calhoun earlier today, but he threw very few pitches and likely is still able to pitch again tonight. In this case, any length out of Penn would eliminate that possibility tonight. Here's Carey. You mentioned the seniors are going to likely have to do it. Worthley, the freshman, is on second after a double. And off speed from Penn to start. Thought about it, and it got frozen. Twenty-year-old Penn stands out there at 6'5", 200. Fires, and he got him there to chase. For the most part, it's that dangerous combo of fastball and changeup. That one is in the hole and into left field. Worthley will be putting the brakes on, but the offense continues. Carey delivers his first hit of the game. And all of a sudden, Nebraska finds themselves in a little groove. They are 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
And that's 5 hits in this inning. Now 4 in a row for the Huskers with Case Sanderson, one of their leaders on this club, stepping on 2 on, trying to keep this inning going.
They have a re-entry rule here, KP. If you leave, can you come back in?
You cannot. That's softball.
Okay, because no, I don't mean as a pitcher. I mean a fan.
Oh. They don't have that either, actually.
Because at 11-1, there were several red shirts that I saw some taillights.
Your extended berm right next to the interstate may get a workout if that happens. They're going to get to the highest spot.
Sanderson got a good look at one and fouled it straight back. And one more big hit could make it interesting. It's still a 6-run deficit. And they've got 4 in the inning and 1 out. Ground ball is exactly what Penn is looking for, and a double play. You gotta be careful with Worley down there at third on throws over to first. Sanderson does a lot of damage against right-handed pitchers. There was that changeup. Yeah, I checked that. Looked like a fastball. Pretty good with runners in scoring position. But Penn has them set up 1 and 2. And this one to center field. That turns Longo back. Now he stops. He makes the play. Worthley will tag from third. Another run in. It's 11-6. Good piece of 2-strike hitting by Sanderson to get the run in.
Kind of feels like that's one you'll take on both sides. Got another one for Nebraska and for Arizona State. You're just trying to get outs. That one adds a run in the meantime.
That looked like the wind also played some tricks with that. Longo at first didn't really bust back. Then he realized I got to go. And then in some case he had to come back in. Now Jet Buck. Two home runs here at the Lincoln Regional already for Buck today, and 0 for 3 with a couple of flyouts to center. He is the 9th batter of this inning. Yeah, that's in there. It's 2 balls and a strike. Buck got a pretty good read on that pitch. Started, hesitated.
Yeah, that was a breakable he could have done some damage with.
What does Taylor Penn go with here with 2 outs and a 2-2? He missed there, 3 and 2. The 3 hits that Buck's got this weekend have all gone for extra bases. A double and 2 homers, and Carey at first base will be on the move with a 3-2. There he goes. And this ball is hit to left field on a line, playable for McGarry out there. And a frustrating day for Jet Buck. But signs of life from the Huskers. They played 5 runs in the 7th inning. As we go to the bottom, it's a 5-run lead for ASU. Blue Skies here in Lincoln, Nebraska. We welcome you back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Got a little more interesting as they played at 5 in that inning. Is it too little, too late? We'll see. The winner of this will go on to take on the winner of the Auburn Regionals. And right now, dealing with some rain on the plains. Milwaukee's been the story. Milwaukee was run ruled in so many games earlier this year, and look at what they've done. The opening round 13 against Auburn, 13 in their next one.
Rev, Milwaukee started the season 5-22.
Yeah, there were some run rule games in there.
5-22, and they are a win away from going to a super.
5-22. How'd they win 5? Lollygagging. Remember that?
What?
Lollygagging.
What do you call that? What do you call them? Lollygaggers.
We shot a Baseball Tonight sort of commercial promo, and we did the Lollygaggers scene. And in that scene, we had the great Dave Campbell, Peter Gammons wearing towels in a shower scene to say Lollygaggers.
Were you involved in this?
I was there. Yeah, I had a different role. No, I had a different role. I think Harold Reynolds was sparking. What do you call that? Lollygaggers. 9-1-2 have done most of the damage in this game, or a lot of it, for Arizona State. Mutsaritas just retired there, already had 2 hits. And now McGarry, who's got the double. And this one is a slow roller. The carry charges and juggles, but he's able to make the play. It wasn't smooth, but there is the out.
Yeah, a little different route right there, too. Come across, kind of cut across his second baseman right there to make the play, but 2 quick counts here in the inning.
Naked eye, this one didn't look like it was going to be challenged, but Arizona State,
they got 1 left.
So we'll use it here. Maybe also take the air out of what's going on in this game and allow new Contreras a couple more seconds before he comes to the plate.
He's out. Not by much. McGarry can get down the line, though.
He could, and you could really see the facial expressions of Carey When the ball didn't get right into his hands to throw, the frustration was like, "Argh." And he grabbed it and fired across, but you could see it.
What was it like?
"Argh, give me the ball." KP,
Hello,
you count the monitors. Let me know what you see there.
1, 2, 3, 11,000.
Thank you. They got their eyes on every angle, all the games that are being played. Like, that's their own little version of squeeze play inside that room.
Thankfully, Runes and Berkey cannot overturn calls.
Yeah, and
After review, the call is confirmed. The runner is out. Arizona State has no challenges remaining.
Matt Schick put out a great post on X about Runes. He's just kind of sitting there muttering to himself about every single player playing in every game. Runes' mind is just different than most others.
Yeah, I got to find a quote. Hold on.
Here is Contreras, who has been a highlight reel, a homer, a walk, an intentional walk in this game. 4 already in this series. He's been so good. 57 RBI, 20 home runs on the season. And you'll be sure that Ole Miss will have their eyes on new Contreras most of the night tonight, assuming that Arizona State ends up winning this game.
Yes. He will draw some eyes, and rightfully so.
That's a really good pitch. Nebraska crowd, they want their team to get right back up on that batter's box and start swinging again. And this one may do it as Carey cuts in front. He flips, and yes, Contreras retired. Here they come again. We go to the 8th inning. It is 11-6. It'll be Fikes Overbeek, who's got 2 hits, and then Butenbach, who just missed a homer last time up. Plenty on the line today. Sunday, Championship Sunday, the regionals. And then we get a chance to see the beach balls bouncing. Super regionals in between, the trip to Omaha. Cannot wait for the Men's College World Series to start June 12th. Back here, KP, Nebraska. The offense woke up last inning.
It did, but it's got to still keep kicking right here. They cut that lead in half, but still some work to do.
Quiet bottom of the 7th leads us to the 8th inning. Then it takes us to the bottom of the order. And the first pitch lands. It's going to be Trey Fikes and then Overbeek, who's had a good day. The basketball, the mantra is let's just get it down to 10 with 4 minutes to go. We got a chance. Is there a number here in the 8th you need to see this team leaving with? a deficit to say, you know what, get us to the ninth.
Three.
Then again, in a double elimination, it's just really important to remind everybody, obviously the team that loses, like Arizona State has done, they're forced to use one of their high leverage guys in this situation, Taylor Penn, when they have another game again if they win against Ole Miss. That one's in the dirt, the swing and the miss, but the throw down to first is executed well. And there's one down. KP, you want complete coverage of everything happening with the baseball regionals?
I do.
You
Where
know
do
where
I
to
go?
You go to ncaa.com. That'll get you the latest news, expert insight, and analysis.
They have brackets there too, Rev.
Today
brackets,
is
they got brackets.
3 times Capitals. Brackets, brackets, and brackets.
Right.
Make sure you check them out. It really is what the day is about, and it has to do with who those teams from each bracket are playing.
That strikeout pitch, look at this grip. This kick change that has kind of become in vogue in the last 4 or 5 years, and I've seen more guys throwing it. Hits the home plate, kind of looks like a split and acts like a split, but Penn has a good one.
This Overbeek not move there on that pitch inside. And this one is lifted towards third, and it's going to go out of play. He's been dinged 19 times, and if he got hit the 20th time, he'd be fine with it. He's not afraid to wear it. This is a team that got drilled over 100 times, set a program record. It's like 100 every year. I think 3 of the last 4 years, they've been hit at least 100 times.
Yeah, that becomes a mindset that just gets pushed down to whoever shows up next.
Overbeek, not over the head of the shortstop, Mutsaritas. A terrific play. They've made them all.
Yeah, he timed this one perfectly too, because Mutsaritas had to take a few steps and then had to decide if he's going to keep on going, stop right there, and go airborne to try to get it. Good first step, turns. 2 steps, goes up top to get it. 2 quick outs for Taylor Penn, who has quieted things down since trotting in from that Arizona State bullpen.
Nice play. Now we've kind of gone around the horn with really good plays by the infielders for Arizona State. Mighty Max Butenbach, a home run last night. Just missed one earlier as he came in as a pinch hitter for Grigo. If the kick change works for so many in a world of baseball in which copycatting is absolutely like the first thing people do when they see something that works, you're going to see a lot of them.
You'll see a lot more, and more guys that throw it are guys that typically throw a 4-seamer, so don't really sink the baseball naturally. And so this is a way that you don't have to really get all the way extended, pronate, and get through it. You can let that middle finger kick it out of your hand and give it that tumbling action.
This one is going to be playable. Fair or foul is Contreras now in foul ground to make the play in a very quiet top of the 8th inning. They are 3 outs away from moving on to a final. They're coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th, leading 11-6. The NCAA baseball regionals have been presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? The offense has been money for the Sun Devils, and that guy was the man today. What a performance as he goes 6 strong innings. Colby Guy, and arguably the best outing of his career at the most important time. We pick up the bottom of the 8th. It's 11-6. And Ole Miss is hanging around waiting. Ground ball, that is trouble. Beaten into the ground by Dean Toigo, who will put the brakes on there as a good throw comes in from Jet Buck in left field. Left-hander going the other way. And Toigo picks up his 2nd consecutive hit and 2nd of the day.
Eight of the 9 in this Arizona State lineup have reached base today. Brody Briggs the only one that hasn't. Bottom part of the order's done their job. Top half's done their job. It's a pretty impressive offensive explosion, and this guy's been a big part of it.
Yeah, large Dino. He's got two bombs. You got small Dino and large Dino. If you hit 2 homers, it's large Dino.
Become large Dino.
When he was younger, it was probably little Dino.
We know one of those.
Now on the corner inside, navigating the top of each of the lineups that we expect to see tonight. Ole Miss and Arizona State, even without Landon Hairston thrown out of the game for throwing his bat after being called out on strikes and unable to play tonight, are 2 massive challenges. Teams you'll see tonight, KP, you got a chance there for some fireworks.
Yes. Yeah, and the further you get into it, the more those bullpens get beat up, specifically for Arizona State. That's a big thing tonight. You want to beat Ole Miss, you better keep that ball in the ballpark.
Good pitch. Small Dino is out on strikes.
Now that Ole Miss squad is looking pretty good right now. I mean, you got great starting pitching, you got power arms out of the bullpen, you got tons of thump.
But I just feel like the table is set because of what Guy did for Arizona State.
It gives them a much better
shot. It feels a lot
shot.
different, right?
Yes.
And remember, they came in well rested. They played day game yesterday, got a win. They were home last night. Got a good meal in, got a good night's sleep in. Didn't have to come back and play like Nebraska did. L delivers to Longo, and that is a little too far inside. Runner is off. That's high. Throw to second. Swipe tag. Got him. Out of challenges. No choice but Toigo to go back to the dugout.
It's pretty good catch and throw right here. Fikes doesn't take a whole lot of time. Man, if you had one, you may want to. Probably would have tried to use one there, but no challenges for Arizona State. A good job by Fikes to erase Toigo from first base.
That's going to be a walk. Arizona State's going to go with a pinch hitter here. Garrett Michel for Matt Polk. Michelle's got 3 homers on the season. He's got a .281 batting average. Stokes moves into shallow right. That first pitch is swung on and fouled off. Cages at Hawk Field, located out towards left field. Right? No place to warm up if you're coming in as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, it's kind of out. No, there's not. No, not underneath.
That's in there.
Get new clubhouses, though. Baseball and softball. Gutting the clubhouses here. Both are just outside the stadium.
0-2 to the pinch hitter. Swing and a miss. Last licks for the Huskers. They are down by 5. Season is on the line. They got the support and they have the offense to make it interesting. Well, Grand Slams have been a story for Arizona State all year. They were again today. They lead the nation with 12 of those, and that has contributed to an 11-6 lead going to the 9th. Last chance for the Cornhuskers, whose ladies softball team was eliminated in the Women's College World Series earlier. Kyle Peterson and Carl Ravitch, another game coming up, 8 Eastern time, 7 local time. Ole Miss. And the winner of this one to see who takes on the Auburn regional champion in the Supers. They need base runners, and it starts with Rhett Stokes, the 9-hole hitter, against Penn, who is going to go over 30 pitches this inning. The big righty sets up on the third base side of the rubber. And his heel may be on the third base side of the rubber. Way over there. And fires one by Stokes. Did you have a preference? Were you middle, left, right? Did it not matter?
I actually moved.
You did?
Yeah, I was far right. And then when I got into pro ball later on, I moved to the first base side.
Caught on a foul. That's one down. Celebration from Briggs there after he made that play. Stokes retired.
Penn's done a real good job, and I know that they didn't want to use him, but that doesn't much matter if you get into a spot that you got to make sure you win the ball game. But he came in and set down that rally for the Huskers. It was a 1-2-3-8. Now he gets a strikeout here to start the ninth.
Looks like we got 2 very proud programs. I mean, let's not forget Arizona State's got a handful of College World Series titles.
5 of them.
5 of them, and a history of great baseball players that have gone through there. Against an Ole Miss team that won the whole thing back in 2022. And Mike Bianco's got some thumpers on this team. That's a strike, and Mac's going to have to grab the bat again.
Well, throw out an if here too, Rav.
Yep.
If Milwaukee ends up winning that Auburn regional, which they're now 2-0, whoever wins the night game tonight will host a super. Well, if Arizona State wins 2, excuse me. I guess whoever wins this regional will host a super.
Yes. As the highest number 2 and 3.
Theoretically 3, because Milwaukee's a 4.
Yep. You look around, UCLA's got a 5-3 lead over St. Mary's. Liberty 1-0 over Georgia in the 4th. You think the 0 hangs for Georgia?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
UNC over East Carolina 5-1. Troy, men of Troy got a 3-2 lead over the Gators.
Troy's got to beat them twice. Florida's 2-0.
Yeah, Kevin Snell was not happy about the way the Tallahassee Regional was run.
It sounded that way.
Yeah, you saw that.
There is
It's ended the last 2 college postseasons.
Plenty of rumors about that South Carolina job right now, and whether Kevin Schnall will decide. I don't think it's as simple as saying it's his if he wants it, but I can guarantee you Coastal doesn't want him going anywhere.
West Virginia beat Wake Forest 10-5. Here is Worthley. Strike 1. Jeter looked like he was swinging for the downs.
Here's your kick change. I mean, that movement and spin when it gets to home plate. To a hitter, it looks just like a split. When it gets there, it has that what looks to be top to bottom spin on it.
The ball reacts the same way. Does it dive down?
Oh, yeah.
The 0-2, and that one is down. Good take that time by Worthley.
Back to back to Worthley. I think we're going to look up in 3 years when he's a junior and be talking about him as one of the better players in the country. That strength's going to continue to come. You just don't see freshman catchers that start the whole year. He has today, obviously in the DH role, but I like his game.
Did he go? No, we got another life for Worthley. And if you weren't with us earlier on ESPN Plus for the conclusion of the game last night, his brother Jalen was on the mound trying to get the last 3 outs throwing to him. And it was a really special moment for the Worthley family for sure, and something the 2 brothers will never forget. And he did strike 3 out in the inning. There is Mom. And this one ended the bat, shallow center field. Longo coming hard, no chance for anybody. Ends up in the Bermuda Triangle, and Worthley, who doubled his last time up, keeps it going.
Yeah, he's got a couple of those that aren't hit that hard. They're just hitting the right spot. Longo, I don't know if he read swing right there, because it wasn't a great breakout in center field either. Out in front, it was another one of those kick changes that he's all the way out in front of, and you see Longo come in late, no chance to get there. Mom was nervous. Now we're not nervous anymore. Nervous, still nervous.
Got a chance.
Now happy.
Yeah.
Never a doubt.
Nope. Be a fun next few years for the Worthley family watching him play.
Jeremy Cardo, former big leaguer, now the pitching coach for Arizona State, out to talk to Taylor Penn, as Arizona State will get that bullpen moving again. St. John's put 3 touchdowns on Northern Illinois today. 21 spot. That'll take them to 2-0 in that regional.
I'm going to guess that Northern Illinois ran out of pitching.
I would say they went into the punt defense when they were down 10, because it doesn't knock them out of the tournament.
Right.
Now they'll have to play Florida State. St. John's will await the winner of that.
Where are we on maybe instituting a 10-run rule after 7 in
You got my
the
vote.
regionals?
You got my vote.
The scoreboard has been lit up with some unbalanced games. 2 on, Dylan Carey. And what likely could be his last chance to take a plate appearance as the Nebraska Cornhusker.
He will get a chance to play for sure. Carey will be a good senior draft for somebody.
That's out of play. Rangy at short. With a good arm, and he's really shown some great leadership qualities this season. Oklahoma State's got a dozen runs against SC Upstate. It's 12-zip. Louisiana and Cincinnati back and forth in the 9th. Louisiana up. That one's in a left field off the bat of Carey. Moyer's coming in. Not done yet. RBI for Carey. 11-7.
We said earlier, if Nebraska was going to get back in this thing, it felt like Carey and Sanderson were going to need to be in the middle of it. Carey hits in each of his last 2 at-bats. Sanderson had a sac fly his last time up. Now Case Sanderson, the junior leader, steps up with a chance to make this one more interesting, but he will not do it against Taylor Penn.
This is not the way that Willie Bloomquist figured this game would end. They led this one 11-1 into the 7th inning. Nebraska is doing a big favor right now to Ole Miss. Schaefer is coming in as we one more time take a look at the brackets. You start with 4 teams in each region, and slowly teams drop off. We've already said goodbye to South Dakota State. Nebraska, Arizona State continue to battle in this one. Ole Miss is just hanging around waiting out of the SEC with the top 4 of Dom Decker and Judd Udemark, Will Furness, and Tristan Bissetta.
Don't leave Federico out now. Federico's
He's
been on
great.
a heater.
Not top 4, but he's been great.
Yeah.
Let's review some of the swings from Ole Miss. Udemark in the first game went yard. He hasn't done much since. Braden Randall was the guy. There was a big decision when the pinch ran for Furness in the 14-inning game. We got a chance to review that with Mike Bianco earlier today. He had a really, good explanation. He said, I didn't run for him when he was on first. I ran for him when he was on second, and it was the 8th inning. I didn't anticipate the game going 14.
Yeah.
Fair point. But sometimes it does go 14.
I think it made total sense. I mean, somebody flares one in the outfield, it looks brilliant right there because they're scoring to probably win it in regulation. So Sun Devils now go to the closer. Derek Schaefer, we've seen him already in this tournament. Really good stuff. But again, an arm that Arizona State was hoping that they didn't have to use in this one. I would say, though, if Schaefer's efficient, can get out of this thing, Arizona State wins. I do think he would still be hot in game 2 later on today.
Right. But fewer than 20?
Yeah, I think it's fair. Yeah.
It's funny. People will look at that, KP. Closer, an ERA of 5.8, but 41 strikeouts, 13 walks.
Yeah, it tells you what the stuff is. It also says, you know what, it's a lot of times that's 2 bad outings. That you get bombed twice and the ERA is inflated. But obviously a guy that they really count on.
I think one of the big questions is the availability of Walker Hooks for Ole Miss tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Mike Bianco, said he's down in game 1. Well, the continuation, I guess, this morning. But said we'll wait and see on game 2. I mean, for Hooks, what was it, 45 pitches in the first game? $75 pitches in the first game for the Ole Miss closer. That'd be going on 1 day's rest. There was a 5 in there.
Now Sanderson. He has stepped up, 6 homers, 2 on, down by 4. And swings at the first one aggressively, and it's fouled straight back.
Schaefer can run it up there now. It's a fastball mid to upper 90s. It's where the heater is. It's cutter, slider, a couple curveballs, but primarily cutter, slider for the breaking balls.
That's a tough pitch. And now Sanderson finds himself with 2 strikes. And his gaudy batting average of .367 drops dramatically, 200 points, when he faces a righty with 2 strikes. Nebraska's been really good with runners in scoring position today, but a tough spot. Just missed. See that ball run away from him, too, with that fastball at 97. Boy, one big swing could send this place on its head. 2-2.
2-2 and 2 good takes. Fastball that was just off, breaking ball there that stayed up and out of the zone.
Jet Buck on deck with the homers he's had already in this regional.
He had one to hit there.
Worley is out there at second base. Carey is at first. Sanderson's got a hit in the game. Another spoil on an off-speed pitch. Good battle right now with Schaefer. He hit him to load the bases. And the tying run will come to the plate in Jet Buck. Boy, they didn't have that on the bingo card.
Did not. And Mr. Buck has already had himself a pretty good weekend. Came in with 9 home runs in the Huskers' first 2 games. Now at 11, 1 right here. This place would go crazy, and this ball game would be tied.
These are the Buck blasts.
This was Friday's solo shot the other way.
And we're back to live action, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. You were down 11-1. You're in the 9th. You got 1 out, and you have a chance to tie the ball game. Big swing and a miss there on a Schaefer slider. He held? Yes. It's 1-2. The homers have been to right. We've seen more homers hit to right field than left field in the stadium during this regional. That kid out of Kansas City, Missouri. Jet Buck looks at a 1-2. And that's popped up, playable in right. Toigo towards the line. Foul territory, makes the catch. Worthy will tag. And it is now 11-8. Carey goes down to third base, but the guy that matters most is coming to the plate, and Trey Fikes. If nothing else, Will Bolt's going to be proud of the effort.
They fought. They absolutely fought, and that fight isn't over yet. They have a decision to make here, too. Fikes, 1 home run on the year. Will Bolt out talk to him in Overbeek right now.
Fikes today, a ground out to second. And he hit one back to the pitcher. He also ended up with a double, scored a run, part of that big 7th inning, and he struck out his last time up. 11 pitches have been thrown by Schaefer. Penn out of the game and likely unavailable tonight. Swung at the first one. It goes right off the end of the bat. Arizona State is an out away from a date with Ole Miss in the regional final here in Lincoln. And Nebraska has done everything to make it really hard to get to the finish line. Fikes lines one to right. It is caught out there by Toigo, and the Sun Devils survive. They will face Ole Miss in the regional final, hanging on to win 11-8. And the Huskers' season is over.
Well, the Devils just kept tacking on, and that became even more important as this went on. Used a few more arms they wanted to at the back end, but you get the W in a win column, and that's all that matters. Arizona State moves on. They will meet Ole Miss. Ole Miss wins tonight. They go on to Supers. Arizona State wins. We will see you tomorrow.
Number 1 seed is eliminated again. It's 2 versus 3. Ole Miss and Arizona State. Can't wait for that one. And please join us. That'll be at 7 Eastern time, local 8 o'clock. 7 local, 8 Eastern. For Kyle Peterson, I'm Carl Ravitch. The baseball and softball